I almost missed the flight. The airport was crowded, the security lines were long, and by the time I reached the gate, the boarding announcement was already finishing. I hurried down the jet bridge with my passport and phone still in my hand, breathing a little too fast. When I stepped onto the plane, the flight attendant smiled and quickly pointed me towards the back row. Seat 28, window side, she said. I walked down the aisle while passengers were still boarding a bus in overfed gates. The plane smelled like coffee and was the usual stench of long flights. When I reached my seat, the window was already glowing softly with morning light. The sky outside was clear and fire blue. I placed my bike under the seat and sat down. Flying at the pebble been my favorite thing, but the window did always make it better. Watching the water become smaller somehow made the sea feel calmer. The engines started rumbling a few minutes later, and the plane slowly pushed back from the gate. I looked around the cabin. Some people was already sitting somewhere watching the movies, and the guide, a few clothes faded after pressing his nose against the window in excitement. The plane rolled onto the runways, and the engine suddenly roared louder. Then came that familiar push into the seat as we accelerated down the runway and lifted into the sky. The city below shrunk quickly into tiny streets and moving dots of cars. Clouds soon surrounded surrounded us like white mountains. For the first hour, everything felt peaceful. The sun rose higher and painted the clouds in gold and orange. I even forgot I was on a plane for a moment. Then something unexpected happened. The man sitting in the aisle seat next to me leaned slightly toward the window and whispered quietly, "You picked the best seat." I smiled politely and nodded. Yes, you imagine. But he shook his head slowly and looked back at the clouds outside. No, he said calmly, not because of the view. He pointed slightly at the sky ahead of the plane because in a few minutes you'll be the first one to see it. Part 2. I found it, I found it slightly when she said that and looked back out the window. At first, everything looked completely normal. Just clouds stretching across the sky like a white ocean beneath the plane and sunlight reflection of the tops. The engines hummed slightly, and the seatbelt sign was still off. Most passengers around us were alert. Some people were sleeping, the others were watching movies on their screen. Nothing felt unusual. I turned back to the man beside me. He was still looking out the window, but his expression was calm, almost curious, like he was waiting for something interesting to happen. See what? I asked quietly. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she leaned a little closer to the window and nodded slightly toward the horizon. There, and she said, I followed his gaze. At first, I saw nothing different, just endless clouds and the bright blue sky above them. Then I noticed a thin dark line far in the distance. It looked almost like a shadow flitting across the sky. The plane kept moving forward, and the line slowly became clearer. My eyes narrowed as I tried to understand that I was seeing. It wasn't a cloud. It wasn't another plane either. It looked like a massive wall of storm clouds reaching straight up far taller than anything I had seen before. The sunlight around it looked strange, almost distorted, like the air itself was bending. I felt a small chill run down my back. That storm looks huge, I said. The man decided me nodded slowly. It's not a storm. My stomach tightened as I started at the dark formation growing larger outside the window. The planes and giants kept their steady, but I suddenly noticed something else in the cabin. The lights flickered once, very quick. Almost no one seemed to notice it. I looked toward the wing outside the window again. The sky had looked darker now as the plane continued approach that strange wall in the distance. As the clouds around it moved in slow steel, like the air was being frozen. But what is it then? I asked. The man decided me finally turned his head and looked directly at me. His expression was calm, but his eyes were serious. The reason this flight doesn't land, he said quietly. At the exact moment the seatbelt sank above us turned on with a loud ding. The plane suddenly dipped slightly, just enough for several passengers to go. Outside the window, the enormous dark formation filled more and more of the sky. And for the first time since takeoff, I realized something was wrong with the clouds below us too. They weren't drifting slowly like normal. They were moving towards the same dark wall in the distance, like everything in the sky was being pulled in the same direction.